Alright, let's get started. A couple things that you will need for this. So once I tell you, you can pause the video so you can grab it. You're going to need graph paper, or you can create a grid or you can use any kind of plastic sleeve or plastic paper like we did before when we did transformations on a computer screen. Any of those tools will help you with this. You can also just pause the video and count the spaces on the grid and use a plastic sleeve so that way you can create your triangle. That will work as well. We are going to be able to calculate distance between 2 points. We're going to stick with something we already know, which is the Pythagorean theorem. And we're going to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. You're going to be given a problem like this that will give you 2 points and a grid. If you need to go ahead and create your grid, set it up, write it down with the 2 points, go ahead and do so, or get your plastic sleeve ready and pause the video while you get those things ready. We're going to do this one together. Just remember that coordinates are made up of x and y for each one. First step we're going to do is we're going to plot our points. That means on this case I'm going to go 3 on the x and up 8 for the y for my first point. My second point, x is 7, so again we're on the x-axis, and then we go up on the y to 3 and plot our point. Now that we have them plotted, what we're going to do is we're going to draw our triangle. We need to connect the 2 dots that we just did, and we're going to create our diagonal, which is going to be our C. It's going to be our hypotenuse. Step 3, we are now going to create our triangle. If I start from my highest point and go down to meet the line grid where the other point is, I can go ahead and create one leg and then create the other. Again, when I count my pieces, I'm looking here. I'm not looking if it's covering the whole square. So just here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next one is 4. If I actually take my pen and I count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can then go ahead and label my pieces. My C is across from the 90-degree angle. This L shape creates this 90-degree angle. My longest side as well. And then I will label left to right from this case, and I'm going to go A and B. When I plug it into the Pythagorean theorem, in this case, you should be flipping over to your notes on the 4 steps. First steps is to plug in identify your A, B, C. Plug them into the Pythagorean theorem for step 2. And step 3 is to square the numbers, which in this case 5 squared is 25. 4 squared is 16. And then I need to add those together to get a total of 41. But remember, I'm not done. That was just step 3. We got step 4, which means we're going to take the root because we're not looking for c squared, but c. When you take the root, it'll be 6.4. And again, when you're using a calculator, you put the number 41, and then you press the root button, and the answer should come. Round to the nearest tenths or hundredths would be fine. Next one, this one, set it up on a grid. I would highly recommend just a plastic sheet of paper, plot the points, and draw your triangle so you can count your side legs so you know what the number represents. Go ahead and pause the video. Welcome back. Okay, go ahead and let's check your points with mine. 2 and 1, and 6 and 8, and I'll explain this one a little better. 2 and 1, I go 6 on the x-axis and 8 on the y. I am going to connect those two as my hypotenuse, And remember, I'm going to go to my highest point down for my leg, and then across for this leg. If I count, I'm going to get 7 for the leg, and here I'm going to get 4 for this one. My 90-degree angle, this is my hypotenuse, this is my C, this is my A, this is my B. So again, C is what we're looking for, A we'll call 7, and B we'll call 4. When I square the numbers, 7 squared is going to give me 49. 4 squared is going to give me 16. If I add those together, finishing off step 3, I'm going to get 65 is C squared. I'm going to go ahead and take the root because I'm not looking for C. I'm looking C squared. I'm looking for C. And my final answer is 8.06. Remember, we're combining a couple things now. Plotting points, creating a triangle, and then solving for the Pythagorean theorem like we've been doing for the last 2 lessons. In this case, and this does happen on some of the work that you will be given, the points are already plotted for you. But we can go ahead and check them. X is 3, so I go down on 3, up on 2 for the Y. Here, X is 7. I'm going to go ahead and go to 7, and then up on 5 for the Y. Let's go through the steps. I need to connect them because I need my hypotenuse, which is my diagonal. That is the one we're looking for. I take my highest one, and again, I'm going to go from my highest point, and I'm going to go down. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3. Okay? Again, I went down 3 spaces. Here, I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's going to connect my other line. And I now have the 2 legs, and I know I'm looking for the hypotenuse. Therefore, I can put that into my Pythagorean theorem. It does not matter what you label A as B or B, because you're going to add them together anyways. In this case, 3 squared plus 4 squared equals C squared. When I square it, I'm going to get 9 plus 16. What do I mean by A and B doesn't matter? Well, 9 plus 16 and 16 plus 9 is going to equal 25 no matter what. 25 is a perfect square. What do you think it is? What's the root of 25? If you said 5, you are correct. This will be our last one. Please make sure that you pause the video. Go through all the steps thoroughly. Please read them. And I am going to just go through the answers a little bit quicker on this one. Alright, so let's go ahead and check it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure my points are plotted correctly. I am going to then draw my line for my hypotenuse. Draw my legs. I'm going to start with my highest point, go down, and then over. You should have got 4 and 5 for each side leg. I am then going to follow my steps. Step 1, I'm going to label my A, B, and C. A is going to be 4. B is going to be 5, and there's my C. Plug them into the Pythagorean theorem. When I do step 3 of squaring and adding, I should get C squared equals 41. And the last step is to take the root of 41, which is going to give me 6.4. Okay? So, please make sure you have all this ready for you. You will be answering some questions, and there will be an Excel slip that you need to go to on Google Classroom to solve.